If you're watching this video, chances are maybe you want to get your hands on this particular lens, or maybe you already own it and want to know the specification, whether it can still hold it in today's standard. I'm just gonna go straight into the points, give you a few advantages and disadvantages about this lens and the overall performance of it. This lens was released, I think, somewhere in 2012, I stand to be corrected, and they do have about 3 versions of this particular one. This lens is a zoom lens, and it's not, a beast of a lens, or it's not any lens that can perform very well in low lights. I think this lens will more suit someone who is about to start or who is in search of a cheaper lens but does not want to break the bank. The aperture is about f3.5 all the way until f5.6, so it's not the best. I think the few things that I like about this lens will have to be the fact that it does have an image stabilization. These days it is very tough to pick up an affordable lens that also got an image stabilization. I took this lens on a wedding shoot, and that is why I'm actually making this video, because the overall performance that it actually gave me, I was quite impressed, especially when it comes to the IS, the image stabilization side. The fun part is when you put the IS on and still put it on a gimbal, it becomes very smooth. It's very hard for you to get any shaky footages. So I would say the overall performance of the image stabilization is quite great. It does have an autofocus as well, so if you are wondering if this lens does have autofocus, yes, it's not a manual lens. When you focus on a subject, it does not hunt that much. It does hunt a little bit, but not compared to other lenses that I've used in the market. I would say this actually performs better when it comes to autofocus accuracy than the 50mm f1.4, the USM version. Another thing that you may see on the lens is the fact that it's also got the locking switch. So I remember some time ago I did made a video about a telephoto lens that I had. I think it was the Sigma 70 to 500, I can't remember, but that particular lens was a struggle because anytime you're carrying it around, it just flips, it just goes down. The lens just goes in and out, and it becomes a problem. But with this particular one, even if you tilt it down, it does not drop. When you zoom all the way, let's say if you zoom to the maximum, you can still lock. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, okay. So when you zoom in, or even when it's inside, you can still have the ability to lock it in place. So if you lock it in place, the zoom will not, it will not zoom again. So which means you've locked the lens in place. This is very nice, especially if you are transporting the lens, or you have it in a backpack. It's really a useful option. Sometimes it's always best you lock these things in place so that whenever you are moving, they don't just flip in and out of it. So I pretty much love the fact that they implemented this measure on this particular lens. Another thing that I think I actually love about the lens is the fact that they give us a metal lens mount. So if you check here, it's a metal. This lens actually looks similar to the 18-55 kit lens from Canon. The appearance, the quality, everything is just the same as that one. The only difference that makes it stand out is the fact that the lens mount is metal, and the previous one, which is the 18-55, is plastic. A lot of people used to complain about that particular lens because when you put it on the camera and you try to take it out, sometimes they break, sometimes when they fall down, and it does not survive tougher situation. But with this particular one, I believe it's okay. I'm not gonna say it is the best, but it is okay. It all depends on what you actually need the lens for. You should also know that this particular lens is a kit lens. This is a lens that they actually include. I can't remember what camera, but whenever you are buying one of the crop sensor cameras, they add this lens for free. This is actually better than most of the kit lenses in the market. For the fact that you do have all the way from 18 to 135, that's amazing. Also know that 18 to 135 is not an actual 18 to 135 on your crop sensor camera. So that is something that you should always bear in mind. It will be way zoomed in. So it does have 7 blades, and it's for EFS. So remember, with the Canon lineups, they do have the the EF lenses and then the EFS lenses. EF lenses are for the full frame lineups, and then the EFS lenses are for the crop sensor lineup. So anytime you see a lens with the red, the white markup here, the white one stands for the crop one. So when you see the white mark here, which means it's purposely for a crop sensor body, but when you see the red one, which means it is for a full frame body. That's why most of the times Canon give you two options on their camera. You can see here on the camera today I'm actually doing more lessons than expected. On the camera you can see a red dot and a white dot. So the red one is actually for the full frame one, and then the white one is for the crop sensor body. I'm not sure if you guys just saw that. Let me try it. It's not the best lens in the market right now. At the point of shooting this video, I think you can pick one on B&H for around $500, and second hand it should be lesser, somewhere around $150 $200. I think you should be able to get one. Another thing that I would like to mention is the filter thread is 67mm. So in case you want to put step up rings, I think 67 is okay, even though 77 is most common. I would say this lens is pretty much for someone who does not want to break the bank. I mean, if you need something affordable, this lens will do a capable job at it. I just love the few implementation when it comes to the focusing, the IS, the image stabilization is just amazing. I mean, this is something that I wish a lot of lenses actually had. And the lock mechanism, amazing. I actually love it. Just bear in mind, this is not the king of low light. It is very bad in low lights. I don't think I can even use this at any situations at night. So if you're a portrait photographer, someone who is starting up, I think this lens will be okay. If you're someone who does wildlife, a hobbyist, well, this lens will also be okay, especially if you pair it on a crop sensor camera. And if you're a hobbyist, someone who does random YouTube videos like this, just bear in mind, if you want to shoot this type of videos, you need a lot of lights. Like right now, my eyes are dying, like I'm hitting myself with billions of lights in here. So it does have some limitations as well. It's not the best. So if you have any questions based on this OG, this lens is actually old though. I think this is the 2012 version, because I do know that they do have 2012, 2017, and the latest one, I guess. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think. If you have any questions, once again, drop it in the comment section. I'm more than willing to answer everything. Subscribe, like, and I'll pretty much appreciate it very well. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in another video. Stay safe. Peace.